Good evening and salutations, my Y&R fans. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I last did this review, since I last did a review on Y&R, and also watching it. And I missed it. I missed the characters. As weird as it sounds, I missed the characters. And when you watch the other soap operas for so long, it's not like I get bored of them. But it is nice to sit and see, I guess, new faces, even though they're not really new. And with that being said, my goodness. The problems that I have with the show are still there. Chelsea, now I haven't watched it in a minute, and the last time I watched was Chelsea was kissing Billy, and I don't know what else, I don't know what happened after that. But Chelsea seems like she's just lost, and I don't know if she's, you know, I don't know if that's because of the writers, like they just don't know what to do with Chelsea. I mean, I'm late to the game, but when I started watching it again and seeing Chelsea, it seemed like she had a thing for Ray. Even though Ray was married to Sharon. And then, the actor left and yada, yada, yada. And then Chelsea decides to kiss Billy. Even though that Billy is spoken for, she decided to do it anyway. And you see the scene with Chase. He's giving her some advice and stuff like that because she's just lost. I don't know what is going on with her. But they're getting along, and, he's just there to sit there and listen, offer some sage advice, and, he has some time between, meeting up with this informant to, close Ray's last cases. And this is his last one. So they talk for a little bit, and his informant comes in, so he heads over there. The whole time she's sitting there drinking or whatever, she's like looking and peeking and smiling, and I'm like, Chelsea, we might need to get you on like eHarmony or like OK Cupid or something, because I don't know what is going on with you. I mean, she can't get back with Adam because, well, I don't really know why, but maybe it's just a shortage of men, a single man. Let's put it this way: it's a shortage of single men in Genoa City. Maybe she needs to head to B&B, LA. I don't know, be there for Carter since Quinn is gone or the actress is gone, whatever. But afterwards, because she was on the phone, before she was on the phone with her son, then she talked to Chance. And then she started asking Chance a couple of questions, and they were talking about Ray. She got emotional and everything. And then she left and she went back home. And, going back to an empty place, I don't know, it just got to her, and she started crying. And, I originally wrote at the time, because I didn't really think about it, I was like, why is she crying for? Then I don't know. I understand that she feels lonely. And it's not like she doesn't have, well, I don't know what her relationship with Chelsea is, how many friends she actually has in this town, but she feels lonely. And to be fair, you can have friends and family and everyone around you. You can still feel lonely. So, like I said, lost. Character seems lost. People that's writing for her seem like they're lost. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's just my 2 cents on it. So, how do I tell this? How the way I tell it is not going to really make a lot of sense, but it is in a lot of ways if you watched it. So let's go. Just trying to think about which one I should tell first. Because they both intersect. That's the issue. Um, with recapping it. That's good. Let's talk with Nick and Sharon. Now again, I've been out the loop for a couple of days. And apparently there was some sort of tension between Chance and Abby when they were talking, when Abby was talking to Nick, and he felt conflicted. Chance felt conflicted about closing the case, and Abby's like, "Oh, he acts like putting family before duty is such like a bad thing," and somewhere along the line, she was like, well, "Why can't he just see?" Just think like me or just see what I'm seeing as far as, putting family first. And, even though that he's a man of integrity, you know, I felt like in a lot of ways when she was talking, she kept contradicting herself. Man of integrity, someone I respect, one of the things I admire. But putting family, that should be there. That should be number one, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, you respect him for his integrity, but yet you wanted him to close the case early, and he did, and you don't understand why you can't get past it. Now, I could be wrong. That's the take that I took. This is after Nick is still admitted found guilty for, killing Ashlyn and all that other stuff. Even though it was defense, he still feels bothered by it. Apparently there was a birthday party, and he just wasn't really there. He was preoccupied, and again, they seemed like they got a little bit of attention. He walked off. Later on, he does wind up apologizing to her. This is after Nick talked to Chance about, Abby's concerns and everything. But before then, I guess they were at Society. Yeah, they're at Society. I'm like, there's only really two places. Um, there was at Society. Oh, and you know what? Just on the side note, when I went on the website and I was looking through the characters' names just to kind of refresh my memory. And they got different stuff you can buy, like they got mugs and they got hoodies and everything like that. And I'm like, I don't know why, but I really want to buy a lot of the stuff there. I want to buy the mug. I want to buy a mug because I love having tea and hot chocolate in the mornings. Um, or sometimes when I get back and I'm doing reviews or whatever. And I want to get a hoodie. And they both look cool. I think it was like Society. They had the Young and the Restless one. I want to definitely get like something that said Young and the Restless, and also like a mug that says Society. But I think I want to get two mugs. One is going to be a Young and the Restless mug, and the other one is going to say like Society or something. I want to sit there and talk about that because a couple of days ago I was sitting there looking at it, and I was like, some of that stuff looks kind of cool. Like maybe a black mug or a black hoodie. I don't really want to do anything that's white because once it stains, it's like, well, you practically just at that point you might as well just throw it in the garbage. Um, but anyway, you got Nick and Sharon talking. Now, Jack, gets visited by Adam, and Adam's like, I want to join the team. I want to be CEO and everything like that. And Jack is thrilled. He's thrilled. He's happy that he's coming to work, and he's happy that he's going to drop his vendetta and whatever he was doing. He's just glad he's moving forward. He took his advice, and he's there. Now, with that being said, yeah. Now with that being said, Billy comes in there. Billy's like, he's knocking on the door. He's like, "Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere." And he's like, "What are you doing here?" He's not happy, and he expresses that. He's like, "Yo, listen, did you sign any papers yet? Or then you can sit there and change your mind." Jack is like, "Nope, this is happening. We're doing this, and that's how I feel about it." He's like, let's go out for a drink or whatever. He's like, Billy can join if you want. Billy's like, "No, I'd rather have a root canal." Root canals are probably the most painful as far as any sort of dental work goes, root canals, it's like a traumatic nightmare. It's it's um it's undescribable pain. And for me, I tell my dentist, I'm like, yo, you need to give me as much Novocaine as you can, like even more. And I remember one time I told him put so much Novocaine in me, numb me up so much that by the time he was done, I almost felt my throat closing. That's how that's how much he gave me because it's just that painful. And so while he joked about it and I laughed, I was like, bro, that is like God level pain right there. Anyway, after that they wound up going to society and they're talking with Nick and Abby. Now I don't understand why Nick is so like he's not happy that Adam is working at Jabot. He's like, oh, you would have had more autonomy, working with us. And, Adam was like, well, do you really have autonomy when you're working for Victim Newman? And granted, maybe on some level he had a point. I don't know. But he just didn't seem happy for him. And I just don't understand why. It seems like for the most part, he seems like he's the black sheep of the family. And it seems like more than once, Nick and Adam has just clashed like no tomorrow. So I'm like, bro, shouldn't you be happy that he's not working? You know, he's not working at Newman Enterprises anymore. Shouldn't you be like, hey, I don't have to deal with you. Or at the very least, well, you know what? Listen, I'm glad you found something that you're happy about and you're good and you're in a good place. That's great. But instead, he's just like, I'm like, bro, almost sound like you want him to work there. I mean, you don't like him. You know how you know how he is with Victoria. I didn't understand that. Now, later on, Nick does talk to Chance about um, Abby, and also apparently he had the investigation hanging over their heads, and I'm assuming maybe he was going to say something, but it seemed like he dropped it or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I missed like a lot of episodes, but Nick was like he was happy about that because I guess it was going to cause road trouble for both of them. Um, Being that Chance just dropped the investigation. Abby was also worried about that too. Like maybe one day he'll pick it back up and go after Victor and all that stuff. So Noah and Allie, they literally are my least favorite subject. I don't know. They just don't do anything for me. They really don't. But Noah was sitting there talking a little bit about his ex girlfriend. Um, Not really trashing her, but just talking about why it didn't work out and the kind of issues he had. Just kind of sharing some stuff. And afterwards, they went downstairs and he started kissing Tracy. Came in there, and Noah left. And then Allie kind of got on my nerves a little bit. Now the weird thing, I guess for me personally, because I watch all four, and even in the beginning, I wasn't really a fan of Allie. I was like, oh great, another Allie. you know, and not just another alley, but another alley that I just was not liking. But the sad thing is that even though this alley kind of annoys me sometimes, she's nowhere near on the level of Days of Our Lives alley. That is, oof, I can't with that girl. But there was one part where she was talking about she was really happy, this, that, and the third. Then she was like, well, should I really be so happy? Should I just kind of back up and, you know, um, like because she was talking about, like, I guess the butterfly effect when you first start dating someone. She was like, "So I'd be more cautious and, like, you know, just kind of not really moving too fast or moving too forward or whatever." And I was just like, "What?" It's just like, you have a great guy that actually likes you. You're having a great time with him, and then you start asking yourself, "Should I start to doubt this thing? Should I start to step back?" And it's like, you sound like an idiot. I mean, I'm being dead serious. And granted, Tracy had to sit there and be like, give her some life lessons about how you shouldn't, grab happiness by, both hands, and, you're in a good place and you should enjoy it because, I don't know, she gave him some sage advice and she listened, but it was just like, it's like talking herself out of being happy because of the unknown or whatever. And I get that some people have doubts, but I don't know, maybe just the way she was talking, the way she sounded, it just sounded really dumb and just naive. Like she really needed somebody to think for her. I don't know. Tracy also came in like literally 25 minutes into the episode, and I'm just like, oh, great. Just trying to squeeze as many people in there as possible. What else did they squeeze in? Let me think about that for a minute. Sharon. Sharon when Chance came over to tell Sharon about closing rate cases and everything like that, and yeah, and at some point Nick comes in there and talks to Sharon, and Noah comes in. He tells both his parents that he's in love and he's happy because he walks in there in just a really bright, good mood, and they're both looking at him like, "What's up with you?" I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, "Wait, has he always just came in there in just very sour and dour kind of mood?" I mean, I do remember one time he was talking to Tess, and I remember it being kind of a really boring episode, but he told Tess like, something's wrong. I don't know if they ever really figured out what it was, but I know he still had a thing for he had a thing for Tess or whatever. But he was like, there's something wrong, and I think this was after he wound up going out with that girl that wanted to enroll in being a social media influencer. And I hate saying that name, but it did seem like maybe there was something off with him. I don't know if that ever got resolved or they just said just kind of moved on. Kind of like how they did with the whole Ashland case. Now that I think about it, I think I only saw Billy in like maybe one scene, and then that was it. And I didn't see him throughout the rest of the scene because I'm just like, Billy did da 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 da, and then that's it. I don't know. There's something just kind of weird about that. Like he was in it, he said something, I laughed, and then I didn't see him for the rest of the episode. Then 25 minutes later, I see Tracy and I see um, Sharon, and I'm just like, kind of late to the party, huh, guys? Like, it's a weird episode. Like, I don't know. Again, I know that each soap opera has its own movement and energy and the way that they do things, and some people do it better than others, and yada 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 yada. This is a weird episode. I'm looking, I'm just like, oh, let's see if there's another page. Oh, no, there's not. Okay. All right, one page. All right. Anyway, I think that's actually going to do it. You know, I wanted to do a live stream today. I wanted to do a live stream today, but it was like 9 o'clock, and it was like, I can do a live stream. I could sit there and catch up on Y&R, and I haven't really caught up on Y&R in a while. My hopes, and I said this in my last review, my hopes, that I'm off tomorrow, that I wake up early enough, go get breakfast, and shower and everything like that, and could actually start a live stream. And then I can do all four of my reviews. That is the goal. I don't know if that's going to happen. That's the goal. Because I really enjoy doing live streams. I enjoy talking about Y&R, even sometimes when there's not really a lot. Because again, I miss the characters. I like talking about the characters. Um, I don't know. Like I said, I love doing my GH reviews, my Days reviews. But I feel like maybe I put a lot of pressure on my GH reviews. I do. GH right now is really popular. My numbers prove that it's popular, even though right now B&B today exceeded my GH numbers. GH is a lot of pressure to talk about because it's a soap opera that I really love. It's a lot of characters, and the numbers are usually high. B&B, I could just B&B is probably the easiest review to sit there and do. Within days. And why not used to be really difficult to talk about? But maybe because I don't put so much pressure on the other three, and days is just so fun to watch that it just flows. Jay sometimes can be really boring. Anyway, I don't know. I just whenever I do these reviews, it's bleh. Okay, I think it's time for me to go to bed. Whenever I do these reviews, sometimes I like to just sit there and just have an open conversation with the people that are watching my reviews. Since I don't really do vlogs because I don't know. I used to do vlogs in the beginning and then I just stopped and I felt like no one was really watching, and then I thought about how just egotistical it is, just sitting there like, oh, this is my daily life, this is what I do, this is what like, come on, bro. I don't know. So I figured this way I could sit there and just kinda tell people, you know, some of my inner thoughts of my process and everything like that, and you know, I don't know. Power, I guess. This is something that I would like to start doing every now and then. And again, I know people are just coming for the reviews. I like to sit there and think that people would care, you know, about just me talking and just, I don't know, I guess being real. So yeah, something that's going to start to happen every now and then. 23 minutes is way longer than I thought it was going to be as far as doing this review. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.